Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about setting up your pickups on your guitar. Doesn't matter if it's a Strat like this one, or if it's got humbuckers in it. Doesn't matter if it's got HSS, or HHS, or HHH, or whatever. Whatever guitar you have. I just drew this here as an example. It's a pretty guitar. I like it. Anyways, and I'm still working on it. I've got my pickups done. I had to order new knobs and a new switch because I got to match the cream color, because otherwise that looks stupid. But hey, and I still got to put on some roller bearing string trees. Crap, I knew I forgot to order something today. Oh well, crap happens. Next week. Anyhow, a question gets posed on a group, okay, as many others do. Where should I set my pickup heights? Well, there are some people who are very analytic out there and say it has to stay there where the factory set it because that's the only best sound you're going to get out of that guitar, which is why you bought it, because it was that way. Okay, these guys are interesting. Okay, so I buy guitars for a reason. Okay, like anybody else, I want to play them. I want to own it. Why? Well, because I like the way it looks, and I like the way it plays. I like the way it sounds, for the most part. I can tell you that I am never 100% happy with the sound of any guitar that I try out. And the reason for that is when I'm at the music store, I'm usually playing on a Marshall tube amp, or I'm playing on an Orange, or I'm playing on a Trainer amp, or even a Fender amp. I play on. Depends on what's kind of plugged in at the time and close enough by. You know what I mean? and I check out the guitar, I listen to it, I play it, I try clean, I try distortion, try a bit of reverb, see how, you know, things react and all that jazz. But my biggest concern is how it looks and how it plays. If it's got that going for it, the rest of the shit can be ripped apart and modified. And that's the way I like to do things sometimes. Now, this guitar, when I originally bought it, I had no intentions whatsoever of swapping anything out of it. However, things have changed. I want the string trees, because that was one thing I said I would change. But then I got to thinking, well, these pickups just aren't quite doing it for me with my present stuff. I have a Boss Katana 100 1x12. I've got a Rolling Cube 60 CUSM. I've got a Katana Mini. I got effects coming out, my Ying Yang. I even have an old PV Edition 20 if I wanted to do some vintage shit. And when I got it home, and I also put it up against my own pedals, which was another big thing, right? It was my own stuff at home. You know, I'm like, I need to change this. Can I adjust it out? Apparently not. Sometimes you can adjust that sound of your pickups by changing heights and angles, right? But sometimes you just can't. And it's like, so I did some research, and I'm like, okay, well, what kind of pickups are in this thing anyway? All Fender says is Alnico. Well, what the hell? Alnico 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there a such thing as an Alnico 1, guys? Because if there is, I can't find one on Google. I find 2, 3, 4, 5. I've yet to find Alnico 1 anywhere. Maybe I need a better search engine than Google. I have no idea. But I bought a set of Alnico 4s, and I got them out of China from Banggood. And I only paid like 14 bucks for these. I was like, ooh, nice! With cream covers. And they're specifically designed for standard Strats and up. Okay? Because of the size of the cover, plastic cover for the pickup. And this way you don't have to mod shit. Anyways, I like the cream color. I could have got white, could have got black, but I wanted cream. Because this guitar has a lot of resemblances to my classic Vibe 60 Strat. Except it doesn't weigh 85 million pounds. It's actually a heavy guitar, but not as heavy. But I like the cream. So I ordered in cream knobs and a cream cap. Now, I was going to order those in from Banggood too. At the time, duh, didn't think about it when they were in stock. So I ordered them in from Long McQuaid, and they're going to be coming via Fender direct. So, well, Fender I think is a little bit slower than China is. And, well, I'm waiting. So when they get here, they get here. I may order an extra set just from China anyways, and order other knobs and stuff, because you never know. Besides, I have to stock some parts around here because I'm fixing guitars more and more. So, these will all be going to cream eventually. And I've already got my tremolo bar done because the music store did have one of these in. So I was okay there. Same factory tremolo bar, just switched the caps around. I just bought a right-handed bar and swapped it over. So, but anyway, pickup heights, it's not a rocket scientist. What you do have to watch is your end frets, okay? The very last fret on your guitar. Now this is, I believe this is, yeah, 22 frets on this one. You got to watch that you have clearance, you know. Some guys say, well, you need at least 5 millimeters. That's bullshit, okay? 4 is sufficient. 5 you don't really need. You might be able to push 3, but it all depends on the magnets that are in your pickups too. If you have strong magnets, yeah, you want to keep a little further away. So 5 millimeter, even, you know, is good. 6 millimeters away from your bass string would be a good idea too, because stronger pickup pulls or stronger magnets means it's going to pull more, which is going to mess with your tuning, throws off your intonation a bit, even though your intonation technically isn't out, but your tuning is going to be out because they're getting pulled at. Strings are magnetic. Hello, okay. Anyways, so important things for setting up your guitar other than your pickup height. To have things right, the radius has to be set. My radius was not set properly from the factory. Shame on you, Fender. To start doing things better. Anyway, so I had to reset my radius. That had to be done. And of course, I did change my pickups. That was my own preference, though, my own choice. Just because the sound out of the factory Alnico pickups wasn't exactly to my pleasing. These are awesome. I love these pickups. I am going to be upgrading my switch. Okay. It's got one of those cheap $2 switches in it. Again, thank you, Fender. It'd be nice if they would put in the better quality switches in their guitars. But you don't get that until you spend big bucks. So keep in mind. The pots, I think I'm okay with the pots. And I have gone over the solder connections, and you know, anything that I saw that they didn't do right, I got it done right. So I fixed all that. I've yet to find a guitar I have not had to fix friggin' solder joints on, and sometimes replace wiring because it was substandard crap, which affects your sound. You know, sometimes just a better quality switch will fix your sound. Now, a lot of you have seen this next guitar I'm going to show you, and it's been changing over the time, and still a few things left to go, but we're working on it. This is my Affinity Strat, and the last one was my Standard. This is my Affinity Strat, and I put in 3 hot rail pickups, which do coil splitting, for those of you who are so technical in your wording. Anyway, so you go from a humbucker to a single coil, bottom line, okay? Switch it either way. Now, I didn't want to use the coil tapping or coil splitting pots, just because it was kind of like ridiculous for price for how often this thing even gets played, but just the fact that it's ridiculous for price. And besides, I got a whole whack load of these switches out of China for, I think it was like $4 or $5. I got a whack load of them, you know, so I'm like, I'm happy. And besides, with a couple of holes, kind of reminds me a little bit of, oh, there's a couple guitars I've seen done like this. Anyway, so this guitar has had all of its wiring redone and upgraded, and it's had a $22 Canadian price, thank you, Fender, switch put in. Good switch though. Fender did a good job on that switch. That's a good quality switch. Just that switch alone, when I replaced it, I put the single coils that came with this guitar back in. What a freaking difference. More output, cleaner sound. Woohoo! But Kevy still wasn't overly happy. And I wanted humbuckers. And I wanted the ability to also have single coil at the same time. Which is why a lot of us guys are actually going into these hot rail style pickups. Okay? Because we can split them between single and humbucker. So with my switches down, I'm all in single mode. When I activate them, I'm in humbucker, and I can go like this, or I can go like this. or I can go like this, or I can go like this and this, or I can do all three. And I can, you know, do these too, you know, any way I want, which is kind of nice. It leaves you for a lot of combinations of tones. So when I set the pickups up on this, I just left a little bit of height, okay? It's all even. They're all even. They're all at the exact same heights, okay, or as close as it gets in this world, all right? And they have a curvature to them, so they actually follow the radius really well, and which is kind of nice too. But and they have ceramic pickups. Now I've also set them down low like that because the fact that there are some pretty strong magnets in there, and I don't want them pulling at and screwing with my tuning stability or my intonation on the guitar, so I had to put them down a little lower. And that's one thing you got to be aware of, is how strong your magnets are on your pickups. That's another reason why, you know. So out of these, I get a really good, because of the pattern of the rails, I get a really good tonal response from the bottom to the top, right, all around that curvature. And to me, it's more pleasing sound. Even as single coils, it's a lot nicer. And even as single coils, because these aren't like Stratocaster ones, okay, from Fender, they have probably more or less wrappings on them. I don't know for sure, can't tell you. But they have their own unique sound as in single coil mode. And in humbucker mode, they kick some serious ass too. So for 24 bucks for a pack of 4, that worked out because I used 3 of them, and then I gave one of my students one for their Strat. So now they have a HSS configuration, and they like it, so hey, what the heck. But anyways, so there's, like I said, there's just no rocket science to this. There's no mathematics of you have to have it this far away or not. But there is some little exceptions, like I said, and that's the strength of your magnets and your pickups. Having them too close, number one, makes the sound very muddy, okay? So if you like mud, by all means. But I like a clean sound, and I like a clean dirty, and a clean overdrive, and a clean blah, blah, blah. You know, I want it to be pure and the best quality sound without sounding like absolute crap. And to do that, you have to really listen to your guitar in each pickup position too. Same as when you're going through your single coil. What you do with your single coil pickups is you go from the bridge, set up your bridge the way it sounds good to you. Then go to the middle, set that the way it sounds good to you. Then go to here, to the neck, set that. Then check your in-betweens and then tweak from there as needed, okay? And split the difference, okay? So we're talking about a 50-50 split, right? So you want to split the difference and then achieve that overall tonal response on all positions. You're ready to rock and roll at that point. So, anyways, guys, that's the math behind it, which is really not a whole lot of math. It's a lot of fun. I love modding guitars and trying different stuff. Now, 98% of all guitars manufactured in the world have adjustable pickups. There is about 2% out of that 98% that is not. This one is also adjustable. Now, this has Alnico 5 pickups in it, which are a little different than what came with it. What came with it were a set of sound designs. These are Alnico 5s. I paid $12 for these. They're kind of like the Les Paul look, eh? The zebra thing. Kind of like it, you know. Anyways, they sound awesome too. Now, how I adjust my straight regular humbucker guitars here is I run the neck lower, okay? And obviously it's lower either way, but I still run this much lower than even the factory setup, okay? And then this one here is run just slightly lower than the factory setup, even though it's a taller pickup. And you can tell that by looking at the sides for the plates and how they mount for the heights. And when I go and I fret the last note here, what I'm looking for is how much distance I have. And on this one, I'm looking at probably about 4 millimeters. And on this one, I'm probably a little bit more, not by much. You know, there's just a, it might even be pretty close to the same. I'd have to measure it. But when I fret the last note, I know I have a ton of distance there, and I have distance here. Okay, that's the big thing. Now, normally when a tech sets up your guitar, they, well, from what I've been seeing on YouTube techs, is they don't fret the last note and check it. They just check the overall. After they get everything else set up on the guitar, they check the overall space here. Which, on the overall, I would probably say, well, we're pushing probably about 7 or 8 millimeters there. But it's when we fret it, we want to have, you know, around that 5 mark, maybe even 4, depending, like I said, on the magnets, you know, type of thing. You'll know if it sounds too muddy, you know, for your taste. And that's when you got to drop the pickup more and then refret the last note, check it, fret a couple other notes, listen, you know, do a couple of power chords and stuff and clean sounds, and just really listen to your guitar. Listen to the whole tonal range from your bass string, okay, so your low E right to your high E. Listen to that sound, you know, and leave your bass, mid, and treble on your amplifier at 12 o'clock whenever you're setting up your guitar, because otherwise you're not going to get the right sound, okay? You want it based on flat response, okay? All natural, which means no reverb, no delay, or any of that crap. Just straight bass, mid, and treble all at 12, so in the middle. And then you set up the guitar that way, okay? Then you can screw with stuff later after you've dialed things in and see how bad it sounds or how good it sounds. And if it sounds bad because you need to play a certain song and you got to throw more bass in there, well, you might have to sacrifice a little bit of the bass on the amp, or you're going to have to drop that pickup down to compensate the difference because it's gotten way too muddy. You know, there are other things involved here, you know, and that's where you got to kind of decide and pick your battles with your stuff. And that's why you need to have compromise room on stuff. So, you know, that's why I set everything up flat response. I know where things are. And then, you know, maybe if I still have a little bit of extra too much bass coming through, what I may do, instead of, you know, messing with my pickups again, because that's pointless, would be to drop the bass level down on the amp a little bit. Or maybe add a little bit of mid-range to scoop it out so that it doesn't have so much bass. There's many different ways to EQ your amp, okay? And you can use EQ pedals too, yes you can, but they have their own difficulties in life too, which is why I don't have an EQ pedal, because I think they're stupid, but that's me. It screws with your sound too much in the wrong ways. But if that's the sound you're into, hey, whatever floats your boat, that's what I usually tell people. Anyway, so that's how you set up your pickups, and, you know, it's preference, it's, you know, but there is some marginal areas that you just got to be aware of, and you're golden. So anyways, thanks for watching. Sorry for such a long video. Some of you are going to be panicking, going, hey, but you know what? It's information, trying to give you as best information as I can on one video, instead of splitting this into multi-parts. Anyways, in the meantime, stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.